Okay, had a problem trying to get this going. Hello, everybody. I'm back for another talk, another chat, whatever these things are that we call these. I came back last week. I put out one last week saying that I will be doing more of these. I was not too sure about doing one today. I'm just not feeling it. Um, I am going through problems, going through issues. Um, just on a personal level. I'm not feeling up to snuff, as it were. So I wasn't really feeling this, but it keeps entering into my head. And whatever that the Most High has to say, I hope that he helps me say it the way that he needs me to say it, so that everyone will understand what he needs to say. Um, I don't really have anything prepared. I just kind of wanted, more than anything, I wanted to talk. I wanted to come back into this kind of starting over and just kind of get back into the understanding what's going on um, with the world. It's becoming very. If it weren't for the fact that I see it coming and I understand why it's happening and what's going on in the world, I would say that it's scary because it's everything just seems to be heading towards this way that people have talked about for years. You can go out there and maybe still find the videos that guys have posted of people that were talking in the 1950s about things like the Illuminati and the Freemasons and the secret societies and all these things that have existed and they do exist. I don't know how else to say that. People may take it as a joke and think that it's nothing, but they were talking about these things in the 1700s. That's a thing. That's a problem. And whether you believe they're for good or bad, there are many, many people that are constantly saying that we need to be controlled more. From government to billionaires, icons. But, majority of the churches, I hear churches talking about it, that we just need to be controlled more. There needs to be more control. There needs to be more, not so much, not so much that we need to have more control on our lives day by day, but there just needs to be more control. There's gun control, or it's, what's the word I'm looking for? The the internet control. There we go. Just you hear these people talk, and man, they just want to take everything. They don't care. They want to take everything from you, and whether you like it or not, they're talking about it. And that's a problem. And nobody's listening. That's the worst part about it. I've over the past year, as I've started growing more and more in my faith and understanding more and more about it, and the Most High has shown me step by step, these things are lies. These things are created by man. You should not be doing this. You should not be doing that. As I've brought that to the attention of people in my family, friends, uh, it's just like they don't care. I've lost more friends than I can tell you, that they just don't care anymore. My mother thinks I'm either in a cult or I'm crazy, and that's a fact. She's told me my beliefs are ridiculous, right to my face, that they're ridiculous. Um, I've I feel like I may have made somebody at work quit because she tried to talk to me and found out that I am one of those quack job conspiracy theorists. You know, that's nuts. That's insane. Why? And I don't have any more friends. I don't talk to anybody. It's not like I go out anywhere and do anything with anybody. I I go to work and I come home and this is my life. My dog's up, and I know there's the people around in the world that believe me because I watch the videos. I see them talk. You know, I just there's just and Angie, bless her, she's tried to keep up with me. She understands. She sees it. She sees it now. She understands the lies. Um, Not only that, she sees the patterns. Whenever I show her, whenever we're watching a show, she's able to pull out the patterns. She's able to pull out the numbers, the symbols. She sees it. She understands it. I can't take her too far down a hole because it really starts messing her up. She starts getting really she's a very emotional person and she really starts getting crushed by some of this stuff. And so I can't take her as far down as I am. And I'm down there, man. I'm way down in there. And it's like I just trying to tell other people. I would have thought maybe my mom would have understood, you know, whenever I, because she won't even listen to it. She's one of those that I started talking about it, and she says, "I don't know," and then she just shuts down. You know, she just gets all glassy eyed about it. I don't know, and she just kind of wanders off, and it's like, no, I want to talk to you about it. I really want to talk to you about it. I want you just to at least listen to me whenever I'm trying to say this. I don't know. She she keeps asking me. I mean, every little thing she keeps asking me. You know, are you Jewish? Are you? Who are these people you're talking to? What friends do you have? Where are you getting this information from? I want to stop and say, Mom, I'm not in a cult. I'm just, the Most High showed me something, and I started reading the Bible, and I found out that this isn't what we're supposed to be doing. I said that this started out that the first thing that happened was I saw the lie. I saw the lie of 9/11, and then I saw the lie of all this other stuff. And then it snowballed, and it keeps snowballing. And we've talked about flat Earth, and we've talked about what came after flat Earth. Giants. And I've said it before. Flat Earth brought me to the Bible. Giants cemented it into place. Once you understand, I mean, you can think whatever the hell you want to about the flat Earth stuff. I don't give a shit. I really don't. It's either you're going to get it or you're not going to get it, and whatever, that's fine. But there were giant people on this plane, and they have been hidden from us. There are too many eyewitness accounts of people finding these gigantic skeletons and then involving the Smithsonian, and then they disappear. You cannot claim that all those are a joke. There are hundreds from hundreds of different countries. It's not like it was all just some random somebody back in the late 1800s said, "Hey, I know what," and he started calling up all the other newspapers and everything else, and said, "Hey, guess what? Why don't we try to do this? This will get us ratings." That's not it. This is real stuff. Can't you? I think another problem, another big thing that people I mean, if you can't feel it, like if you don't have those puzzle pieces clicking together, somebody said it the other day, and I wish I could remember exactly what it was. I should have wrote it down. It's when you hear the truth, those puzzle pieces all start coming together. When you understand the truth, like the truth, not what somebody tells you and then says, well, this is the truth. No, when you hear it for yourself, when you understand it for yourself and it hits you right here, that's when you know that there's something to it, and you see those puzzle pieces locked together, and you just become aware of something. It's something that clicks inside of you. I don't know how else to say that. It really is. It's something that clicks inside of you, and it there's a cognitive dissonance to it, and I've been there. I've had my cognitive dissonance shattered to the point now that you know I will I will believe just about anything, and then I have to look at it. I mean, if it's way way out there, I have to stop, and it's like, okay, now we have to look at it. I can believe a lot at this point because you know somebody tells you something, and all you got to do is just look it up where they tell you to go look it up. And when it's written in a book, and the book is on the internet, and the book is copyrighted such and such date, and then you can have in the mouths of two or three witnesses, if you have two or three other people from two or three different decades, that's what gets me. Is I've been listening to so many people from different decades that talk about certain things, guys that have never met each other, and I don't even know what was the one. There was one I heard on. It was either Thursday or Friday of this week. I was at work listening, and they were talking about Nephilim, and they were talking about different stuff, and their beliefs were just slightly different. Their understanding of everything was just slightly different than what everybody else talks about. And as I was listening to it, I was like, "This is so far off the wall." And it was something that that they had said that they had just recently found it or something like that. It wasn't like the people that I had listened to before back in like 2017, 2018. It wasn't like they had heard it previously like that. This was some kind of found something, that was done back in like 2008, 2009. And the odds that that person had heard that and then went through, all of their research for it, the odds on that are staggering. And I just kind of, it clicked into my head. It was like, I'm listening to somebody from 12 years ago talking about something that the person that I heard talking in 2016 could have never possibly remotely thought about. And I said, that's the connection. Like the one guy that talks about the Illuminati back in 1960, I think it's when it was the radio show or whatever it was. He goes through the whole thing, and I mean that's entirely possible that people could have heard that. I don't know how, because I think about before the internet, man. If you didn't have the connections, you never would have known that stuff. You never would have known it. There's no way. Unless you had the connections, unless you had somebody stop and give you a tape or give you something that said, "Hey, by the way, you have to check this out." Unless you had somebody telling you that, you never would have heard it. It was only until the internet, whenever people started finding these things, that they were able to just get it out to people and say, "Hey, wait a minute, they've been talking about this for a while now," And it's like the video I did whenever we were talking about the word conspiracy. And I said, look at the usage of the word conspiracy up until, a certain time, and then look where it gets to a point and it drops. It just absolutely drops. And then it picks way up. But for some reason, the word was capitalized back through the 17 and 1800s, and then it died. What was it? It was like the late 1800s. It absolutely died or something. Or no, was it 1700s or early 1800s? Maybe the late 1700s or early 1800s, where the word conspiracy, capital C conspiracy, just died. And then it took like 20, 30 years before the word conspiracy picked back up in the mid 1800s. Right whenever we talk about all this crazy stuff happening, you got the War of 1812, and then you've got these, something I heard the other day, the inside of a Scientific American or something, they were talking about all these earthquakes and all these weird ass weather patterns and stuff that were happening between 1812 and 1815 or something like that. And that's just about the time whenever these people are talking about Tartaria, and they're talking about mud floods, and they're talking about all this other kind of stuff. And it's puzzle pieces, it's all these puzzle pieces that go together that it's like, what the hell is that? My device needs to restart to install it. Okay, now I can't get it to. We're gonna hide that for now. There we go. I'm so afraid of this laptop now because I already said in the last video that I had to do a fresh restall on this laptop because it died on me, and I really don't know why. It's like all the USB ports and the Wi-Fi antenna would go out, and like the whole computer would lock up. I couldn't do anything to it, and so every time I see something on the little taskbar or whatever the hell it is over here in the right hand corner, bottom right hand corner, anytime I see something new down there, I'm like, what the hell is that? So I just said I need to restart my computer, which is fine because my computer seems like it's starting to bog down. I don't know what the hell. Brand new, man. I've had problems since I first got this thing, so it's not like it's anything new. I'm thinking about maybe we're gonna have to get another one this summer or something, which is fine because Angie needs to have one of her own. Anyways, though, I'm trying to get back on track. This stuff, it's there and it's real, and it's been there for a long time, whether you want to admit it or not, and that's the biggest part of this whole nightmare that I can't get past, is that people just won't hear it. People just won't be involved in it. I don't want to call it brainwashing, even though that's exactly what it is. I don't want to say, oh, well, you're just brainwashed, you don't know any better. I don't want to say that because, we've all been through it. What I want to say is you have to lose your pride. You have to lose your self-interest and take a hard look at this. Just not even a hard look. There's got to be some way that you can show a person like 4 or 5 things and just say, "See, I told you. Look, right there it is." And they'll see it. I just don't. It's so hard, man. It's so hard to understand also how to bring that up to somebody without scaring them off. It's like I said, the one woman at work, she was trying to be a good friend. She was getting a little weird. I hate saying it about her, but it's kind of true. Her husband had died, and she was always coming over to me saying, "Oh, you remind me of my husband when he did this and he did that." And she's talking to me weird and just different stuff. And it seemed like every time I said something, she's like, "Oh yeah, well my husband was just like that, or he said this or said that." And I get it. She's mourning. She's looking for somebody to replace that. I couldn't do it for her. but I wouldn't have mind talking to her. You know, I just she always picked the wrong times to talk to me, and she always every time I started, just talking to her, she'd ask me what this means, what that means. There was one time I said, "There's nothing new under the sun." And she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, literally, there's nothing new under the sun. It's all sun worship." And she got that blank. She said her husband had said something like that, and then I was like, "Yeah, there's this whole thing, yada yada yada, about the sun worship and all that," and she just blanked, and then she changed the subject, and it was like, I thought you were there, but I guess not. And then her last day at work, she I don't know what. I don't know if it was just because she was wanting to tell me she was quitting, or if she was looking for a reason to stay. I don't really know. She came over to me, she just was just talking to me, just asking me, what I think, all this stuff, and I just told her the truth. I said, that there's this whole control system and a yada yada yada, and she had that look on her face, like, what did I get myself into? All that. And I even remember telling her, I was like, you don't really have to believe me because it's kind of hard to take. It's a hard pill to swallow. I said, I understand. It's taken me 42 years to get to this point. I don't, I don't, I don't start my clock from when I first learned about something like 9/11. I don't start my clock from there. I start my clock from the day I was born, because every single step of the way, the weird stuff that I questioned whenever I was a kid, to the crazy stuff that I watched whenever I was a teenager, to the even crazier stuff that I, you know, started understanding whenever I was a young adult into whenever I was an actual adult. All this stuff. It's a lifetime. It's a lifetime of work to get to this point, to get all this understanding, because a lot of the stuff I see now, I'm able to trace back to questions I had whenever I was 7 years old, 8 years old. I remember these things. I know other people don't, but I do. I remember asking these questions. I remember looking at space shuttles, and because the biggest thing, and I need to go find. This is my TNT. This is my creeper. We bought this at the store the other day. I've always wanted to have a creeper, and we bought a creeper. But I sit here and spin it. Sorry, it helps me think. So I need to go find my mom's photos, because there has to be photos of the rocket launches that we took when we lived in Florida, because we were down in Clewiston, Florida, which is on the very south side of Lake Okeechobee. It's about 500, 600 miles, 600. Let's just go with 700 miles away from Cape Canaveral. And when you hear about a launch, you can look north and you can see the launch. It might take maybe a minute or two for it to get above the line where you can actually see it. But when you see it, you watch it. It comes up. It's real slow, and it sits in the distance, but you can see it. You can see it go up, and we've seen it, start going, doing its little parabolic arch. It goes up to the middle, and then 9 times out of 10, the boosters or whatever is pushing it will stop right there, and you won't get to see the trail. But every now and then, we saw the trail kept going, and it looked like it kept going down. And we were always told that that's just going away from us. It goes up, and then it turns to get into its, orbital whatever, which I know now is a lie, because it needs to be a lot higher to be into its orbital whatever, because that's only about as high as planes get, about 30,000 feet. It needs to be way, at least double that, whatever. But when it gets up to that point, and they say that it starts looking like it's coming down, it's actually going away from us. There's some weird thing, because it points north and out. I don't know. That's what we were told. And we were told this by astronauts, because, like I said before, every year we would have an astronaut come in. 5th grade, 6th grade. I don't remember 7th grade, 8th grade. Do we have one in 8th grade? I don't remember. I know we had one in 4th grade. Oh yeah, when in fourth grade, because that was the Challenger. Before it happened, we had one come into the school. I don't know if we got to see him. We did get to see him. It was a big assembly. It was an assembly. It's taken me a while. My brain is starting to slowly function. But we had astronauts that would come in, talk to us, go through the whole spiel. And that's what they would tell us. When you see it, it would look like it. And I remember asking that question that I heard. I watched a video that some other kid, there was a video of somebody was filming the space shuttle launch. And there's a little kid saying, "Daddy, why is it going down? Look, it's going down." And you could hear the dad saying, "It's not going down. It's just turning." He said, "No, Daddy, it's going down. It's going down." And I remember asking that. I said, "Why is it going down?" "It looks like it's going down." And, "Oh, it's not going down. It's just doing the yada yada, the flip and a hole and a." But it's things like that that I saw whenever I was young. That would have been like second, third, fourth, fifth grade. I stopped watching them after the Challenger because I didn't want to see another one blow up. That's how it messed you up. Because we were there. I remember in fourth grade, is Mr. Aho's class, AHO, Aho. He was Hawaiian, I think. I don't know. Got in trouble for cocaine. Anyways, we we were out there because it was such a big deal. We were out there and we were watching it, and it went up and it poofed. It was not supposed to poof, and when it poofed, we just kind of stopped and watched it, and then everybody started herding us back into class. Come on, guys, let's go. And it's like, wait a minute, what? What happened? And it's after that, I saw my mom. She was at home crying. She cried that day. Cried. Absolutely cried. And from that point on, I didn't want to see another one because I said I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want that to happen ever again. Now I understand that could very well all be fake. I'm just I don't know what the odds are of having six people that look exactly like the people that supposedly died in there, that some of them still have the same exact name. Two of them were twins. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that? That's crazy. I mean, what do you say about something like that, right? I mean, what? I don't know. And I just don't have anybody to talk to about it. I really don't. And it irks me beyond irking me that I can't seem to get through to anybody, and I don't understand. I do understand why, but I just, I understand why because people are so involved in their own lusts that they choose to believe the lie that, God sends down a strong delusion because they would rather believe the lie than hear the truth. That's exactly what it is. Harden their hearts. So messed up. But for anyone that's hearing this for the first time, you have to understand there's something there. There's something there. I can't be the only one that sees it, and I can't be the only one that's sitting here saying, what do we do? And honestly, I don't think there is anything we can do other than just wake other people up. I've said it before, is that the only thing we can do now is try to save souls, because it's coming. It's going to come, and it's going to hit us as hard as absolutely possible, and there is not much you can do about it because they have all the cards now at this point. Regular people have allowed them to hold all the cards. Unless we can turn it around. That's the other big thing. That was the one thing that somebody else had said too. You can postpone God's judgment. It will eventually happen, but you can slow it down at least. because God was going to judge the world several times over, and he decided not to because there was righteousness. Um, he was going to wipe out the entire world with a flood, but decided to save Noah because Noah was righteous and just and perfect in his ways. I mean, that's postponement of judgment right there. That's what a lot of people I don't think seem to understand is that, you know, he was planning on it. He said, "Look, I'm done. I'm over it." He said, "I'm going to finish this, and then I'm probably going to start over." But then he told Noah, he said, "No, I'm going to save you, and we're going to try it again." And then, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, uh, he found Lot. Not Lot. What am I saying? Is that Lot? Not Lot. What? Come on now. His name. Oh, my brain is not working right now. Fortunately, I'm hungry too. I need to go eat. He saved the guy. I can't think of his name. I think it's probably Lot, but I'm not. I don't think it's right. That is Lot because Job's the other one. I'm thinking about Job too. Holy crap! He saved Lot and his family, even though his daughters were corrupt. But he said I would save it if even there were 10 righteous. I'll save the whole thing. All the crap that Sodom and Gomorrah had done. Everything. If you can find 10 people that would be willing, that are righteous, that want to follow me, I'll save the whole thing. And then that's where we are now. It's like, will you save the earth for 1,000 people? That's where we are now. Will you save the earth for 1,000,000 people? If you can find 1,000,000 righteous that are perfectly righteous, will you save it? I think at this point, though, I think his terms for righteousness are probably a lot more strict than they used to be. Because boy, we have fallen. But you could postpone it. It's like what was the one they were saying about Jonas and the whale, or Jonah? Is it Jonah? Jonah and the whale, where he said, "I'm going to destroy whatever city it was," and he got eaten by. He said he didn't want to go do it, but he got eaten by the whale or the fish. It was a fish. It could have been a whale. I don't know. And somebody said he might have died. That's like that. That would have been the perfect way to show them that this God means business. Is that he died, spent 3 days in the belly of a fish, was rotted, and came back out and was preaching to them, and they said, "Okay, we will change our act," and they changed their act, and he saved that city. That's postponement of judgment. I think it's possible. I think it's absolutely possible, but I don't. But what would first thing I think of is, would you really want to postpone it? Because at this point you just want to get out of here. But there's still more people that you need to save. There's still more people that you need to talk to and tell them that this is a real thing. But they're just not listening. It's just like it's going to get to a point to where I'm going to be sitting here screaming into this laptop over and over and over again. Look, you have to look at this. Look, you have to understand this. And when everything starts going bad, all I'm going to be able to say is, I just wish there was more time. I wish I could have said it better, because there's got to be somebody out there that can say it better. There's got to be somebody out there that knows the Bible better, that could use even the smallest iota of information that I have to be able to use that to tell to somebody else that they can start understanding what's going on, and they can use that information to get saved. Because I'm going to tell you this much right now. When it comes my time and I stand before the Most High, And whenever I tell him, you promised me salvation because I believed in you. And if he says no because of the crap that I have, the one thing I'm going to ask him is, did I at least get through to one person? Because that's all I care about. I just if I can at least get through to one person and have them understand that this is serious now. This is not just, playtime in the world, go out and do all your stupid crap. Even though I do a lot of stupid crap that I absolutely repent for every single day. And I fall and I apologize for that every single day. And I know that if he's going to send me to an eternal flame or eternal fire, I at least want to know that at least one person just listened. At least one person just got it. At least stopped and saw it and was like, giants? What? And decided to go look into it, and it changed them. It did something to them. At least opened their eyes to something bigger than this nonsense world. That's all I want. That's all I want out of all of this. Just to know that at least one person just stopped and thought about it. And I don't know if I'm getting that. I don't know if I'm ever going to get that. It's just, this is the biggest uphill battle I've ever had in my entire life. I've breezed through my life. I've screwed off everything in my entire life, just for the fun of it, and I've had nothing to worry about until the past 3 years, and now it's like, I am so. I just hope you listen. I just hope you listen. That's all I want. That's all I want. I have to go. I gotta stop before I start crying because I'm gonna start crying. I swear it's welling up in me. I was really not wanting to do this because I don't feel sanctified enough to be able to do this because I've had such a hard time trying to get myself to stop being my old self, and it's just felt like the light has drained from me, and now it just I feel so lost. I'm gonna go. Hopefully next time I'll have something more to say. I need to start making notes at work again. Stuff that I need to talk about. I've learned a lot of stuff. Um, I want to share it with you guys. I'm about ready to stop reading Josephus because I'm about 200 something pages into Josephus. It's an 800-page book, but I think it's bigger than that actually. But I'm about ready to stop reading it because not only could it be a corrupted copy, but it's not really telling me the things that I really want to hear. He goes through the whole history of the Jews, but when you hear him only say that Goliath was 6 feet tall, it's like, okay, that's not right. Something's going on there. And then you hear that there's another copy that somebody has found where a lot of the stuff is different. You're just kind of like, okay, I might have gotten a corrupted copy. Maybe I should step away from this. There were some things that I found that were kind of interesting, but for the majority of it, it's like, why am I still reading this? And it's kind of hard to get through, and I'm only able to get through it 30 minutes at a time because, work and overtime. So I need to step away from it, maybe. Get into other stuff. We'll see. We'll see. I need to go back through Enoch. I need to read Enoch again. Go through some of that old stuff. I switched back to flat Earth stuff because it's been a while and I need a refresher course. Um, and the Nephilim stuff, I need to go back to it. So I switched back to that just as a refresher, just to be able to get back to it. Anyways, I gotta stop. I'm gonna go get some food. I need to eat. I mean, maybe that's part of my problem too, is I just need to eat. I'm a little shaky. I'm serious when I say I just need to get through one person. Just as long as I know I can get through to one person, I will feel so good. It'd be nice if I could get through to my family, but I don't know. I don't know if they'll listen. I don't know if my mom or my dad, my poor grandmother, she's not going to know any better. I love you guys. Stay safe. Bless you all. Take care. And I gotta go get better.